Congress returning from August recess with little progress on cannabis legislation. Joining us right now to discuss the marijuana market is Mark Zekulin. He's the CEO of Canopy Growth. It's good to see you, Mark. Congratulations on this new role, and we want to hear what's happened since Bruce Linden, who actually joined us recently, what it's been like. But I want to start with this issue of what's happening in Washington right now when it comes to legislation on marijuana. Where are we, and where do you think it's going this fall?
Yeah, I think I'm always hesitant to comment on politics, particularly American politics from Canada. But what we clearly see is that there are no major groups who are in opposition to some sort of states' rights legislation. So I think that can only be viewed as a very positive sign right now. We recently had Scott Gottlieb on the program, and I know you're expanding the CBD products, and he basically said he thinks the CBD products should be illegal, or are illegal, frankly. What do you make of that? Well, I think the Farm Bill has clearly said otherwise, and today we're in a position where we're waiting for further guidance from the DEA. But in terms of legality, as far as any expert I can talk to says, the CBD is open for business. And, we as a company have major contracts with American farmers to produce CBD hemp. We're launching American production sites with construction underway in California, New York, and Illinois. And we're building an American supply chain to ensure that we can have CBD sales in America this fiscal year.
Right. How much influence these days does Constellation have on your business, how it's operating, and since you've taken over? I mention this because Constellation, of course, a major investor in the company. It is said that it expects a record loss of more than $50 million in its current quarter because of the investment in the company.
So Constellation, as you've said, has a major investment in our company and invested over $4 billion to give us that ammunition to continue to do what we're doing. So we have a great relationship, and one good example, if we look at our Cannabis 2.0 beverages that we're building, that is a combination of Canopy's intellectual property to have a good tasting formulated drink that is akin to a beverage alcohol experience with no hangover, no calories, but the knowledge of how to actually take that IP and put it into a bottling plant and conduct market segmentation comes from the expertise of Constellation. So this is a great example of two great companies working together.
But in terms of the loss and in terms of the pressure on you now, I mean, how involved are they sort of on a day-to-day basis or in terms of influencing the day-to-day operations?
So Constellation has a number of people on our board, but that is the extent of it. From a management perspective, we're continuing to do what we've always been doing. This is a moment where we have never been in a better position as Canopy. If you think about it, for the last 5 years, we have been investing in intellectual property, major scaled capacity in Canada, and a team to execute on those things. And what excites me most, in Canada, we are on, believe it or not, month 70 of a construction program. And the exciting part is we have 4 months left in that program, which means we can start to shift in Canada from being builders to really being operators, focused on asset utilization, efficiency, and while we have a operating mentality in Canada, we can now take all of that knowledge we've built as builders and deploy it into the U.S., which we're doing right now.
Hey, Mark, I don't know if you can see it on the screen. We're showing the last year's stock price, basically the stock over the last year. And as you can see, there was a point at which it was actually close to $60 a share. We're now obviously $25 a share. You think investors are missing something here? What do you think is going on?
Yeah, I think, firstly, the entire cannabis sector is down as of late. And I think what's happening is there is a set of investors who are not seeing the Canadian market develop as quickly or as anticipated. And then on top of it, as you mentioned when you started, there's a lot of uncertainty still in the United States and globally. So you have that happening. But from a long-term investor perspective, those investors have been through this before. The cannabis stocks are not for the faint of heart. They go up, they go down. But the question is, which company do you want to be invested in that has an eye on the prize? And that prize is a multi-$100 billion global market for cannabis.
Right.
And in my view, Canopy is as best positioned as anyone to seize that.
Eric Cantor is here. I have a political question for you. How quickly or not do you think you're going to see federal legalization of marijuana?
Look, I think right now the issue of lack of bipartisanship is going to flow over into this. I think the comment that there is some kind of agreement on states' rights, I'm not so sure. I know on my side of the aisle there would be that sort of directional trend. But I'm not so sure there's enough unity on even this issue.
Right.
And also, given and you mentioned Scott Gottlieb's position,
yep.
and given the just opposition to cannabis in general, I'm not so sure this is an easy lift for Congress at all.
Mark, final word? Yeah, I think what gives me a lot of hope on that legalization point is just that we're really getting into the details of social justice and American farmers, and I think that is past the basic principle of, hey, should cannabis be something that states have the right to legalize. So I think it's a great thing, and again, as Canopy, we are excited to be in the United States, working with American farmers, working on production.